In the headlines, Boko Haram terrorists kill 11, burn school in attack in Yobe. Nigeria Air Force airstrike kills children, destroys houses in Niger State. PDP rakes in 646 million naira from 17 presidential aspirants and form sales. And on the foreign scene, Israeli forces use tear gas and rubber bullets against worshippers at dawn prayers. Palestinians respond with stones and petrol bombs. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Now the news in detail. Armed men suspected to be Boko Haram insurgents have slaughtered 11 persons in fresh attacks on Gaidam local government area of Yobe State. Reports say the insurgents invaded the community Wednesday. It was reported that the terrorists parked their motorbikes at a nearby community and walked on foot and perpetrated the deadly act on innocent citizens. The insurgents entered through the eastern part of the town, set government-signed secondary technical school, Gaidam, ablaze, and slaughtered one person at the school quarters. Anonymous sources say the gunmen also targeted Kwari, a popular brothel in Gaidam town, where they slaughtered 10 persons, both men and women. The chairman of Gaidam local government area, Ali Kolo, could not be reached on phone, but his vice, Musa Muhammad, confirmed the attack. And at least 6 children between the ages of 5 and 12 years old have been reportedly killed by the Nigeria Air Force airstrike in Kuregba community of Shiroro local government area of Niger State. It was gathered that the air component of the joint security operatives mistakenly struck the community while trying to bombard the hideouts of terrorists in part of the local government. Residents told Daily Trust that several houses were also destroyed by the airstrike that was conducted on Wednesday. A spokesman of Coalition of Shiroro Association, Salis Muhammad Sabo, said the incident happened in the morning when the children were fetching water from a motorized borehole within the community. Sabo said a father lost 2 of his daughters and 2 granddaughters to the strike, adding that the community where the airstrike took place was not the hideout of bandits. Efforts to reach the spokesman of the Nigeria Air Force, Air Commodore Edward Gabquet, proved abortive as calls to his mobile did not connect. Now to politics. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, on Wednesday concluded the sale and submission of its nomination and expression of interest forms for all elective positions ahead of the 2023 general elections. As at last count, 17 presidential aspirants bought the forms to contest for the presidential ticket of the party, with the party generating 646 million naira from the sale of the forms. Based on party policy, the only female aspirant, Oliver Tarela Diana, only paid for the expression of interest form, which is 6 million naira. The race is now set for the party's primary, slated for the 28th and 29th of May. A governorship aspirant and former Director General of Standard Organization of Nigeria, Dr. Paul Angia, has rejected the People's Democratic Party consensus arrangement. The PDP governorship aspirant, in a statement signed by his media coordinator, Clement Sarr, said the process that produced the consensus candidate in Benue State is dishonest, not transparent, lacked merit, not in tandem with the relevant sections of the Electoral Act as amended, and did not reflect the popular will of the people. He therefore called on the leadership of the PDP to adopt a transparent, honest and democratically accepted process of nominating candidates for the 2023 general elections using the guidelines provided in the Electoral Act. And the National Executive Council of the All Progressive Congress, APC, says it will not choose its flag bearers at the next general election through consensus. The ruling party, at its post-convention NEC meeting in Abuja on Wednesday, scheduled its presidential primary for the 30th of June. The meeting, which was attended by President Muhammadu Buhari, also fixed price tags for nomination forms. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman reports.
It is the first National Executive Council meeting of Nigeria's ruling party, just emerging from a delicate national convention. The party is racing to meet electoral timelines ahead of a crucial national election next year. 2 critical decisions are on the front burner, determining the mode of its presidential primary and determining where the flag bearer should emerge from.
Now, our special convention for presidential primaries is bid to hold between Monday, 30th of May to Wednesday, 1st of June, 2022.
The party settles for indirect primary as against the much talked about consensus option. As for the issue of zoning of the presidential ticket, it remains obscure. Aspirants awaiting the commencement of the sales of the party's nomination forms now know what size of war chest they need. Those aspiring for the presidency, they have to cough out 100 million naira for expression of interest and nomination forms, while governorship aspirants will dole out 50 million naira.
Our presidential form has been set for expression of interest at 30 million naira, and the nomination form set at 70 million naira, bringing it to a total of 100 million naira.
Sell-off forms commences on Saturday. Meanwhile, NEC agrees to transfer its powers to the NWC, apparently to fast-track activities amidst a tight electoral schedule. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Meanwhile, a group of protesters carrying placards with various inscriptions lay siege on the Secretariat of the All Progressive Congress on Wednesday, demanding the resignation of political appointees aspiring for elective offices. The group is worried that the sit-tight attitude of such political appointees may jeopardize the interest of the party. Once again, Trust TV Shafiu Suleiman reports.
As pressure continued to mount on political appointees at the federal and the state levels, in line with Section 84, subsection 4 of the new Electoral Act 2022, a group, as you can see behind me, took their campaign to the National Secretariat of the APC here in Wuse 2 to press home their demand for political appointees, especially President Muhammadu Buhari, to resign their appointments and face politics in line with this new legislation.
We are here today because this is a party issue, APC, the ruling party. And we think that the laws made by the government, except you are announcing that you are bigger than the government. If the Electoral Act says that whoever that is any political appointee that is vying for any elected post should resign, and this person that we can see from the people, why are they still holding tight in their offices? And this is our demand that they at least.
But are they resisting to resign? Some of them are very much aware of the provisions of the Electoral Act. Isn't this also, some would say you are more like putting the cart before the horse?
Yes. See, Nigerians, as a party, if this message is not sent before, nobody knows what will happen. So we now have to be in the front so that what happened in Zamfara State, another part of the country, do not affect our political party.
Because time is very irrelevant in laws. If you miscalculate on time, at the end the subsequence will be great. That's why it has to be done right now before time goes out of hand.
Okay, the group is very much concerned about, the need to adhere strictly to the laws so that the party would not be at the age and all of the precedences or the actions taken by the aspirants or those eyeing, various political positions would not go in vain. This is in line with the Section 84, subsection 4 of the Electoral Act 2022. Now it remains to be seen if these gladiators, who some of them have already thrown their hat in the ring, would adhere to this call and resign their positions and face, squarely the political activities as we head towards 2023 elections. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And Kano State transport workers operating in Kano Line Motor Park are appealing to the state government to reconsider its decision to shut down the motor park, as it may render over 10,000 people jobless. Trust TV's Idris Jibrin reports that the state government has already shifted the transporters to a nearby building pending the final closure of the park.
Situated along Zaria Road in Kano metropolis, Kano Line Motor Park is the most popular and perhaps one of the largest motor parks in Kano. There are well over 10,000 people benefiting from this park who are now at the risk of losing their jobs. There are over 5,000 of us working here at interval. Before now, we were criminals living in Ireland. But when Konkoso established this park, we were relocated here, making a living. Now, if they close this park, do they want us to go back to the life of crime again? According to these people, the state government is yet to provide them with any other alternative as to where they should relocate to, apart from these nearby buildings, which forces many vehicles to park and load passengers from outside the main park. Actually, Ganduje need to look at these people to temper justice with mercy, because he knew that this park was given to us by his political brother, Rabiu Konkoso. Like me, I have been working here from my childhood. In fact, if it's a government work, I will be due for retirement in few years to come. For God's sake, if you send me away from here, where will I go? Meanwhile, the Kano State Transport Authority confirmed that the park is being relocated to another location and that the intention is not to render any person jobless, but to ensure that there is control in the number of motor parks across Kano State.
There is no responsible government that would like to render its citizens jobless. Any place that you see government is about to embark on a program, there must be measures that have taken prior to the taking of that activity. So definitely there is a place that government have carved out of that place for them to relocate.
For now, these transport operators have already been shifted from the main Kano Line motor park to a nearby building on a temporal basis before the final shutdown of the park. Idris Jubrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
You're watching Trust TV News Update. And coming up after the break, free feeding in the spirit of Ramadan. This and more after the break. Do stay with us. Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us on Trust TV News Update. Now a look at our top stories. Boko Haram terrorists kill 11, burn school in attack in Yobe. And Nigeria Air Force strike kills children, destroyed houses in Niger. And moving on to other news, United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, says child spacing lowers incidence of death, disability and other complications during pregnancy and childbirth. This awareness, as provided to Gombe women by family planning service providers in the state, has led to huge turnout of women who want to access modern contraceptive methods of child spacing. Ibrahim Ismail reports.
Gidan Magani is a historic healthcare center located at the heart of Gombe City. For decades, women have been accessing maternal healthcare services here. These women are here for family planning services. They were inspired and enlightened on the health benefit of the procedure by health workers. Amina Ishaku is a 43-year-old who subscribed to family planning since her early marriage. She has 5 children and still counting. Amina and other women speak on the benefits of child spacing to their health. She is saying we are well catered for. I and my children are very healthy. They are going to school now. I used to receive injection quarterly. No complications. I am healthy with my children.
I want my some people that they didn't come and collect this family planning because it's very good for your health or for our health and our children.
Gombe State government has been providing free family planning services, and health workers say they now record up to 20 clients daily. But however, lament the inadvocacy of family planning kits.
The demand is too much, more especially this day. Before, family planning, they don't used to, but now, the wahala is too much. Whether you like it or not, you have to do this family planning. They are doing it not because of anything, because of the pains that we have. And this COVID-19, it brings us so many things that they just have to do this family planning.
The family planning coordinator, Gombe State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, urged the state government to release funds from the family planning budget to enhance service delivery.
You can have a client without having the consumables. It will cost you a lot of money, which a client cannot even be able to pay or to able to provide the needed things for her services. So in that case, the government have tried in giving allocation or budget line to family planning, which already has been written to them, and I believe my able governor will do something about it.
The contraceptive prevalence rate in Gombe State stood at 17%, but stakeholders are still working to push the figures up to meet the Family Planning 2030 agenda for sustainable development. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
Ramadan, the 9th month of the Islamic calendar, is observed by Muslims worldwide as a period of fasting, prayer, reflection, and giving in charity to earn reward from Allah. As part of efforts to maximize the reward of the month, Al-Habibiyya Islamic Society has been feeding over 2,000 fasting Muslims and non-Muslims daily since the start of Ramadan. Mardia Umar reports.
The sun is set and Muslims hurry to break their fast at the Al-Habibiyya Mosque in Abuja, the headquarters of the Al-Habibiyya Islamic Society. This faith-based organization feeds over 2,000 people daily in the month of Ramadan, and this has been happening for over 10 years through its food bank project.
Today, alhamdulillah, we shared about 2,000 meals in about 10 minutes. And in addition, we try to make sure we put everything that is necessary together to prepare for the will-be our guests. They are very, very important. And when we pray, we do not eat all the volunteers until after we have served them. And they know that, and we ensure whoever comes in here will go home with food.
The Society's National Chief Imam and Executive Director, Imam Fuad Adeyemi, speaks on the motivation behind the food bank project.
The starting or the evolution of what we call Habibiyya Food Bank itself started in 2004, where we were in the mosque in Wusetu then, before we moved to our permanent site here. Some people came, a family who said she is a widow and that she needed help. They said they're about a widow of 5 families. We contributed to help her that day. Not more than 4 days, another set of people came. They said they are widow, they're about 10. Now we also contributed. Before we know it, another 6 sets came, and I decided that, with the way these things is going, by next year, we have to make it better. We set up a committee. Incidentally, I got a program in US in that time in 2005. So I now saw that there's a place in US where they are feeding people. And I said, so poor people here again, like Nigeria, so when I get back home, this thing is going to be improved. It's going to, the level is going to be raised, and alhamdulillah, Allah supported us.
This selfless act has also won the organization international recognition.
It will also interest you that in 2012, the US government here, they came, they supported us, and when they saw what we did, they wrote to their home states and they created an award for us. They call it American Ambassador on Humanitarian Services, who are given that. Nobody has ever been given that award before, and after us, they have not given it to anybody.
He said in addition to the daily feeding program, on Salah Day, the society also has another program that feeds the destitute.
And the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities have been urged to find a lasting solution to the ongoing strike, which is bedeviling the standard of education in the country. The Vice-Chancellor, Nasarawa State University, Professor Suleiman Bala, made the call in an interview with Trust TV. The report.
Speaking on behalf of the Vice-Chancellor of the university, the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Professor Aruna Ayuba, further explained that the strike has not just affected the students, but also the lecturers. He commended the move being made by various stakeholders in ensuring that the ongoing strike is called off, adding that it will help students graduate at the stipulated time.
The leadership of ASU, they've continued to say there are issues that the federal government needs to address. The issue of funding, the issue of welfare of university staff, the issue of revitalization of the university, and these are some of the issues. So I'm not holding brief for ASU, but they've continued to say that agreement was reached, and these agreements have been breached over the years. And so they are saying, let's go back to that negotiating table to address the issues.
The institution's classrooms, library have all been under lock and key for some time now, making the school environment a ghost of itself. A cross-section of people spoke to our correspondent on the negative impact of the strike on the education sector.
The lack of activity in the entire economy, in the entire environment, it affects the students, it affects the society, it affects business, it affects everyone in the society.
We feel fine, we feel okay, but things are very, very rough because of the strike and all. Yes, there's no student in the school, even the fasting and everything. They also strike mostly. They affect us badly.
Students residing at the outskirts of the institution, while lamenting the negative effect of the strike, called on the government to find a lasting solution to the ongoing strike.
They say when the two elephants are fighting, the ground suffers. And we, the students at the receiving end, we're actually suffering. We plead that the government to please listen to ASU, because ASU is a body that is actually doing their best to make sure they promote and strengthen the institution of Nigeria so that they can be able to equate it according to UNESCO standard. So we're also pleading to ASU, if ASU on their own end should please shift ground, because we believe for us to have a unified entity, we want the ASU should shift ground, also government to shift ground.
I'm not happy also because it's been 2 months we've been at home now. So like the strike is supposed to end, they said a month plus, and it's over 2 months, and we are hearing like they are going to extend the strike till next month. We are not happy about it now. And my elder sister too is also schooling in this school. She's in her final year, and still the strike is ongoing. She's just at home learning handwork now that she's supposed to be in school, and they're supposed to be graduating this year.
Yeah. This is Nasarawa State University, Kefi, where the school used to be a beehive of activities that students in the hostels, at the basketball court, anywhere you go, it's busy. But now, the school has remained a ghost of itself. And one would attribute this to an adage which says, what sauce for the goose, sauce for the gander, and which the federal government will curtail the lasting solution to the strike. In Kefi, Kabiru Lawal, Trust TV News.
And telecommunications subscribers under the aegis of the National Association of Telecom Subscribers are set to drag the federal government to court in May in a bid to temporarily suspend the government's barring of subscribers' outgoing calls. President of the association, Adeolu Ogumbanjo, said the association will be joined in a suit already filed by the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project against the federal government on the NIN SIM policy implementation. Ogumbanjo pointed out that even subscribers who had linked their NIN with their SIMs prior to the directive were also blocked. He said the directive is unfair to subscribers, adding that its implementation is affecting their business. And the Nigerian equity market on Wednesday grew further as the all-share index appreciated by 1.25% to settle at 48,138.71 points from the previous close of 47,554.86 points. Investors gained 320 billion as the market capitalization was up by 1.25% to close at 25.92 trillion. The market breadth closed positive as 28 equities appreciated in their share prices as against 21 equities that declined in their share prices. Jopal Gold and Eterna Oil led the gainers with 10% growth, each to close. Union Dicon led price decliners table as it shed 9.60% of its share price to close at 8 naira 95 kobo. On aggregates, an aggregate of 349.6 million units of shares were traded in 4,587 deals, valued at 3.6 billion naira. Now a look at the foreign scene, where Israel has carried out air raids in the central Gaza Strip for the second time this week. According to witnesses, with its military saying its fighter jets attacked an underground complex used to produce rocket engines. The raids came before dawn on Thursday. There were no immediate reports of casualties. The attacks damaged several homes in the Al Bureij refugee camp in central Gaza. Earlier in the night, a rocket fired from Gaza struck southern Israel, causing slight damage to a house, but no injuries. Israeli police said 4 more rockets were also fired from Gaza. The Israeli military said following its raids on the besieged coastal enclave, but were intercepted by air defense systems. No Palestinian faction claimed responsibility for the rocket launches. And following the draws for the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers, some Nigerians have shown support for the Super Eagles to qualify from Group A. Trust TV's Adeni Ajishafe has more.
Despite the lackluster performances of Super Eagles of Nigeria in recent times, some Nigerians have expressed optimism that the team will qualify for Africa Cup of Nations 2023. Nigeria is drawn in Group A with Sierra Leone, Guinea-Bissau and Sao Tome or Mauritius, while hoping that Eagles will have a smooth sail in the group stages. Nigerians, however, advise the team to put in their best as there are no minnows in football anymore.
I do believe in second chances, and I believe that things happen, right? Like no matter how much or how well you train, some things can just happen and then you don't get to win. Yeah, so I think that being optimistic is something that each and every one of us should, So I'd like to be on the positive side. So I believe Nigeria can win.
Yes, of course, Nigeria can qualify because this is our country. We have to support them. Super Eagles must qualify because what they played the last time, maybe it's the World Cup qualifier. They tried their best. It's just that the game does not fit for them. But by this time around, we pray to God that the game will fit for them. You know, football is a game of luck. There's no sabi there. It's a game of luck. So by the grace of God, we believe this time around they are going to come up with something better for us.
To me, it's an easy draw.
And that wraps up Trust TV News Update for this hour. Don't forget, you can subscribe and follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Thanks for joining us.